Sometimes, the smallest decisions, those made in a split second, almost without thought, can alter the course of a life. And at times, a simple bus ticket can become the key that unlocks not only personal transformation, but the destiny of entire communities. This is the story of a bus ticket that changed a destiny forever, a story rooted in real history, but reflected in the everyday choices each of us faces. As you listen, imagine the sharp, vivid images of city streets, tired faces after a long day's work, and the quiet courage that can rise in the most ordinary of moments. It is December 1st, 1955 in Montgomery, Alabama. The air hums with the routine sounds of a southern city, cars honking, shopkeepers closing up for the day, and the steady rumble of buses winding their way through neighborhoods. For many, these buses are lifelines, carrying workers between home and jobs, connecting friends and family, and weaving together the fabric of daily life. But aboard these buses, another reality prevails. A system of segregation that marks some as worthy of comfort and others as invisible, forcing black passengers to the back and reserving the front for white riders. Among the passengers that evening is Rosa Parks, a seamstress known to friends and neighbors for her quiet dignity and unassuming strength. She boards the Cleveland Avenue bus, finds a seat in the colored section, and pays her fare, a small worn ticket that signifies so much more than a ride home. This ticket, like hundreds before it, is a symbol of both mobility and limitation, freedom and restriction. But tonight, something is different. As the bus fills, the driver orders Rosa and 3 other black passengers to give up their seats to white riders. The others reluctantly comply. Rosa, however, remains seated. In that moment, a moment built on years of indignities, quiet suffering, and whispers of hope, she makes a choice. She will not stand. She will not move. The bus driver threatens, then calls the police. Rosa is arrested, her bus ticket still in her purse. That slip of paper, so ordinary, now becomes evidence not just in a local case, but in the fight for civil rights. The news spreads quickly through Montgomery's black community, where pain and frustration have simmered for decades. Leaders gather, including a young minister named Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., and they decide on a course of action, a boycott of the city buses. The Montgomery bus boycott begins, transforming that small ticket into a rallying symbol. For 381 days, thousands walk, carpool, and persevere through rain, cold, and threats, refusing to ride the buses that have become instruments of injustice. Their discipline, unity, and resilience capture the attention of a nation. And eventually, the Supreme Court rules that bus segregation is unconstitutional. The boycott ends, and the buses roll once again with seats open to all, regardless of color. That single bus ticket, purchased on a winter evening, set into motion a movement that would change America. It was a ticket not just for Rosa Parks, but for all those whose destinies were altered by her act of quiet courage. It was a ticket to dignity, to justice, and to a new sense of possibility. But this story is not just a chapter in history books. Its lessons echo in the choices we make today. Each of us, at some point, receives a metaphorical ticket, an opportunity to act, to speak, to stand up for what is right. These moments may seem small at first, a decision to help a stranger, to challenge an unfair rule, or to support someone in need. But as Rosa's story reminds us, even the smallest act, when guided by principle and conviction, can set off ripples that reach far beyond ourselves. Imagine the faces of those who walked for miles each day during the boycott. Teachers, mothers, students, janitors, and ministers. Their shoes wore thin, but their resolve only grew stronger. Each step was a declaration that their dignity could not be bought or sold, and that their unity was a force more powerful than any injustice. Their story is one of collective action, of finding strength in community, and of discovering that even in the face of overwhelming odds, change is possible. The bus ticket that changed a destiny forever reminds us that life is a series of crossroads. Sometimes we are called to sit still when everyone expects us to move. Other times, we are called to walk together when the road seems long and uncertain. In both cases, the true measure of our lives is not found in the size of our gestures, but in the courage to make them. In our own lives, courage often looks like small acts. Speaking up when it's easier to be silent, reaching out when it's safer to withdraw, choosing kindness over indifference. These are the moments that shape our character, that define who we are and what we stand for. And sometimes, these moments come when we least expect them. In a classroom, at work, or even on a crowded bus at the end of a hard day. Think of how Rosa Parks' single act of resistance inspired so many others to find their own voice. Her courage gave rise to new leaders, new movements, and new hopes. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., who emerged as a leader during the Montgomery bus boycott, would go on to inspire millions with his vision of justice and nonviolence. The ripples from that one bus ticket continue to spread, touching lives across generations and continents. Today, the world is filled with challenges. Discrimination, inequality, and injustice still persist. But the lessons of the past remain as relevant as ever. When faced with difficult choices, we can remember the example set in Montgomery. The power of unity, the strength of conviction, and the enduring value of dignity. For those seeking inspiration, the story of the bus ticket that changed a destiny forever is a reminder that greatness is often born out of everyday moments. It is a call to look beyond our own comfort and convenience and to see the needs and sufferings of others. It challenges us to ask, what would I do in that moment? Would I have the courage to stay seated, to stand up, or to walk alongside those demanding change? In every city, on every street, there are people facing their own battles. Sometimes, all it takes is a small gesture, a kind word, a helping hand, or a willingness to listen, to change the course of someone's day, or even their life. The true legacy of Rosa Parks and the Montgomery bus boycott is not only found in laws and court rulings, but in the everyday acts of courage that continue to light the way forward. So, as you go about your day, remember, every decision, no matter how small, holds the potential for greatness. The bus ticket that changed a destiny forever is not just a story from the past. It is a living example of how ordinary people in ordinary moments can shape the future. The next time you receive your own ticket, your chance to make a difference, take heart from those who came before. Let their courage inspire your own, and know that your actions too can echo through time. When you step onto a crowded bus, enter a new classroom, or join a new workplace, look around. Each person carries their own dreams, struggles, and hopes. You never know when a single decision, yours or someone else's, might become the turning point in a much larger story. Let us walk forward with empathy, with courage, and with the unwavering belief that no act of kindness or stand for justice is ever wasted. For the world is changed not by grand gestures alone, but by the quiet, determined steps of those who refuse to accept the world as it is, and instead imagine the world as it could be. The bus ticket that changed a destiny forever is a symbol, a reminder that greatness often begins with the simplest of acts, and that each of us holds the power to shape the future, one small decision at a time. Let us honor the legacy of those who came before by living with courage, kindness, and a determination to make each moment count. As you carry this story with you, may you find inspiration in the everyday, and may your own choices become tickets to a better, more just world, for yourself and for generations yet to come.